Hey everybody, Dave here. Today I'm going to be walking through Blue Prism 7.4.1 and just testing various features and behavior to make sure that it acts the way that I expect it to. And that's going to give me the confidence that I need before I go and upgrade our environments at where I work and have been for a few years. We're on version 6.10.1. Before we upgrade, I wanted to make sure that things are working right. I've tested version 7.3.1 and some other versions somewhat extensively, not every single feature, but a lot of it. And I wanted to do a similar kind of testing in 7.4.1. I'm just going to kind of go through Blue Prism and I will be remarking to myself about some things. Maybe I'll explain some stuff. Maybe I won't explain others. If this helps you, great. But this is primarily just for me to have a recording of what I went through and tested. Some of these things I can't actually test right now, but a number of them I will. So I'm just going to start going through now and mentioning some of these things. In the System tab, there's Settings. I want to scroll down and mention there are two new settings: prevent clicks where JavaScript and href attributes may result in content security policy violation. You should probably just leave that checked. It's when JavaScript is in a link, basically. So I think that it will always fail, but if you have this box checked, it will actually throw an exception, and otherwise it will attempt it, but it'll probably just fail anyways. Then there's Enable Selenium Manager for JavaScript Invoker. If you're inserting or invoking JavaScript at any point, and I mean, like you need to be using those specific actions, then you'll want to probably check this box so it can just download the WebDriver for you. But otherwise, you could go manually get the WebDrivers for Chrome and or Edge and put that, say, in the Blue Prism Automate folder, and then you can uncheck this box and it'll just use it. The problem is that if you have Edge automatically updating, like we do at my organization, it's really hard to keep up with new Edge versions and getting the new WebDriver automatically, and this will just do it for you. So I would leave that checked if you're allowed to. And then there are some other changes, I guess, like work queues. You might want to note that this checkbox retry items in this queue in the event of an unexpected session termination. In older versions of Blue Prism, like version 6, this just by default would retry the item. And then at some point in some version after version 6.10, I don't know where exactly, it got reverted the other way where it wouldn't retry it. And then some of us supported a request about that and they changed it. So now you have the option to do either one. Personally, I would just check the box and never look back, except for in specific scenarios where oh, I don't want the item to get recreated when the session terminates. Okay, so when editing this video, I realized that I was actually wrong here. I described it correctly, but I then came across a scenario where I was glad that Blue Prism didn't automatically create a new item. I think in a lot of cases, you do want it to be checked, but I think there are scenarios where you don't. So it actually kind of makes sense that it's not checked by default. So that's just something to consider whenever you're designing your automation. There is a new user role that I believe you cannot delete called anonymous runtime resources. Let's try to delete it. Yeah, you cannot delete that. And I think this is similar to functionality before. Take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, meaning don't completely trust it. But I think the purpose of this is to give you the ability to give or not give access to things like credentials to runtime resources that are connected through that anonymous runtime resource way. I still need to do full testing with how this works, but I just wanted to point out that the anonymous runtime resources role does exist, and you probably will have to deal with it if you have been using Blue Prism like that. There was a change in the releases. I wish that I could show it to you right now. Let me actually log back out and go over here. Maybe I can. Releases. Oh yeah, here we go. So there's always been this oddity where, okay, so like if you click on a particular package, then you'll have releases listed here. And this has always been ordered by date or by default. I guess you can sort it maybe differently. Yeah. This has always been sorted by date. And so the last one or the latest one is going to be at the bottom of the list. And that's always worked just fine. But over on the left side, I'm not sure what the order was, but these were not previously in alphabetical order. So you could, even if you named your packages, your releases in such a way that they would be alphanumerically ordered from top to bottom, it wouldn't necessarily show it properly in that order. And they have changed that now, so it's a lot easier to see. And you can even see up here, like this is clearly named from A to Z. In control room, we can search by resources. Now, I don't know why we can't search by processes too. I imagine they thought about it and just didn't do it yet, but that seems like kind of obvious, right? Like if you can search by resources, you'd want to also search by processes. And if I were to search for something that doesn't exist here, you wouldn't see it in the list. I've only got one runtime resource though, so it's not that impressive seeing it here, but it is genuinely nice. Now that I say that, the environment variables were also changed in the same way. So if I want to search for like customer service, that'll show me just the environment variables that have customer service in them. Let me just see if, does it work on the value? Test. And if I search. Okay, so it doesn't look like it works on the values, but I think there's a way to do that. Like in value. Oh, wow, look at that. Okay. That's pretty sick. I love this helpful dropdown. I've never seen that before. Maybe it always did that and I just didn't know. Wait, no, because we couldn't search before. Okay, sorry, my brain is going crazy right now, but that is amazing. In, and then like you can do in description. Oh, that's so nice. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, that's pretty good. Well done, Blue Prism. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. There have been also, I think, some improvements to control room, but they kind of do improvements to control room as far as like efficiency goes. Like practically every release, there's always some kind of improvement to try to make the queries go faster and stuff like that. But apparently that has been improved as well. I just can't really test it in this environment very clearly. Yeah, so now what I want to do is look at the functionality inside of Process Studio and Object Studio. I guess what I could do is, let's go straight to Object Studio, I guess, because that's got enhanced application modeler and whatnot. So we'll just create an object and we'll call this test 7.4.1 object. Let's actually call this like browser mode, because maybe I'll do other modes later. All right, I've got this website open. I'm going to use this, so I'm just going to grab that URL and we'll do be open from an executable. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Application location. I'm a little surprised that if I choose like, you know, if we're doing browser like this and I click browse. Oh, it does. Wait, what? No, that's just where I was last. I feel like it should give you the option to like choose from a drop-down list and it automatically go to where it expects that to be, but that's fine. And application, browser-based, embedded. Something I want to point out here, if you are coming from Blue Prism 6 to Blue Prism 7 and you import and you don't specifically attend to this, what will happen is your anything you import from version 6, it's going to call it external 32-bit, I think. And if it's like this and you go automate your browser application, what you'll find is that your first object will be able to attach to it properly. But then while you have that attached, you open your second object and it tries to attach as well. It's not going to be able to attach. I don't know why that is, but that's like specifically a limitation of when you're using the external 32-bit application manager mode with browser-based automation. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to change to embedded, which you can do when you're importing. Like it actually says to you, like, hey, do you want to change the application manager mode? You do. Probably most of the time you want to change it to embedded until you find out that like, oh, I have to change the mode to something else. Okay, here's our website URL. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here, and in a minute I'll come, or maybe in a bit when we test Invoke JavaScript, we'll come back and I will update this to have the remote-debugging-port, and for Chrome there would need to be a second flag used as well, and we'll get there. There's a pre-launch browser to, I guess, help with launching. I have never tested this. I probably should, but I don't really care about it, so I'm not even going to test that at the moment. And let's go launch and attach. I'm going to close this. Okay, we'll call this employee directory. All right, so if I do run this from control room at all, I am going to need this to work. So let's just, I want to say somewhat quickly, create some elements for this. Let's go with, maybe we should use them all. I'll use browser mode first for the username. And then I want to, you know what? Can I spy with different modes in the same session? I didn't mean to hit identify. I meant to do identify new. Okay, so let's do win32. That I guess that's fine. We'll do win32. I keep holding control instead of using the new feature of going like shift and then I want to go UIA. Oh, it's not giving me active accessibility. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Okay. That's all right. I didn't want it to work anyways. Let's not do region mode. I'll go back to browser mode here. I held control and right clicked. Now I need to do a little bit of renaming. So this first one was text username. This one is the whole window. So I guess I could like put these inside of that, but whatever. Login. Call this window login. And yeah, I guess I could put these inside of here. UIA, this one's going to be password. Do I call it text password? I don't know. We'll go with that. And this needs to be data type password. I guess we can call this browser. Button login browser. Now let me make this a little larger to see and look at the attributes. Login, personal, Microsoft Edge. Let's change this one to not require Microsoft Edge because if I wanted to switch to Chrome, I want it to still work. Now, here this says Chrome. I'm going to change this to star wildcard because if there was a second window, I still want it to be able to find this one. So like each window gets like a 1-up number on there, I think. Okay, does this work? Maybe I should do match index. Oh my goodness, match reverse is in here? Hold on, wait. Browser mode doesn't have it though, does it? No. Why is there not a match reverse for browser mode? Does UIA have it? No. Lame. That's lame. Highlighting. Okay, so it found it. It brought it to the foreground. Cool. That was good. I liked that. Let's try the username. Okay, so this is working. Sometimes I found, maybe this is a bug, I'm not sure, but I will do this highlight and it will take forever for it to stop. It's not like it takes a long time to find it. It just like finds it and then keeps it highlighted for like 5 seconds. And I'm not sure what's causing that. But here it's not doing it. Like this amount of time that it's taking is fine. I'm going to assume it found the right button because the button was red and then the highlight was red, so I couldn't see it, but I think it probably found it. I forgot to change these. I'm the worst. Okay, when I click between these, this is a problem. I think that it needs to be changed to be like it used to, where you could click between elements, and if I were like looking at this area, that I could click between these and I could compare them quickly. So I think I'm going to bring that up to Blue Prism as well. This is kind of obnoxious to have to scroll down like this. Username, yeah, we'll just use the web ID. I do want to do like an XPath on one of these. So first, let's make sure this can be found. Did it do it? What? Am I crazy? It didn't do it, right? It didn't highlight the username. Wait, it's doing it now. Hold on, let me cover it up and try again. Oh, it's working now. Wait, I'll have to watch that back on the video and see did it actually work. So let's go to UIA, and that looks good. Don't need this. UIA name, don't need that. We do want match index at some point. Let's see how long it takes. Okay, that's without match index 1. Let's just see if it's consistent. Wait, doesn't it have like a 500 milliseconds? 465. 510. Okay, let's just turn on match index 1. Does that affect it? 356. 350. Okay, I think that proves that match index does work. Let me just uncheck it and see if it immediately affects it. It does. Wow. Okay, yeah. So what they fixed though was that I guess they found that the implementation of using UIA wasn't taking advantage. Like the match index 1 wasn't it, like it was being used for finding the element and like properly identifying a single one, but it was continuing to look through the entire set of elements, and went all the way to the very end, found them all, and then it took the first one. But now it's doing what it's supposed to, which is find the first one and then continue with that. Or like I should say, find the first one, stop looking, and bring it back and use it. Yeah, so you can see it's not like it's crazy faster. It went from 450 milliseconds to 350 milliseconds, but that's still clearly like an identifiable difference. Cool. I love that they put this time to identify in here because now we can actually see the change. Whereas before I had to like eyeball, like how long did it take to find it? Okay, cool. So let's go down and change this one. Let's use an XPath or something for this login button just to kind of like check that it works. Login. That's not what we want. Button. Of course, it's the only button. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna try button that contains the word login, but I might have to do the special way to do that. Let me see here. Button. And then somewhere beneath that button, it should contain, oh wait, no, is this just directly in the button? So I don't think this works. Text equals login. Oh, it worked. Okay, there's another way to handle that if it didn't. So I guess I'll just go with that. That's fine. Button. So we go over here. Something else I guess I should point out is that you can't, it looks like you can't, oh wait, can I not resize any of these? Well, I can't resize these columns, but I also can't see all of this value at once. I have to like copy it and paste it somewhere. Now it's there is this notes field, which now that I think about it, makes it not that big of a deal. So I can copy this and paste it up here. Okay, it's not that big of a deal, but it would be nice if this could be expanded or, maybe a pop-up happened or something like that. And that way I could look at what's inside there. So if it's a short XPath expression like this, I can easily read it. But if it's even twice as long, which they super frequently are, then it's going to be off the side and I can't read the whole thing at once. Just my thought. Let's actually leave that there. And then this will be like our example to make sure that the notes stays filled in. The description. I like that these notes are now on this main area. They used to be like on a secondary tab that you had to go and look at. So now if I left notes for another developer, it'd be a lot easier for them to notice it. Okay, let's do highlight. I probably should have closed this. I messed that up. Highlight. Oh, right. Okay. Well, just trust me. I could see the highlight. I could, in fact, see it here. Okay. Let's apply changes. And what else is in here that we care to just check out right now? General properties. Okay, enable us. So this is automatic spy mode. I feel like if you uncheck this and then you do like identify new, all it does is not give you the automatic spy mode as an option in the list. So if you just know that you never want to use it, then you can uncheck this. Otherwise, there's no real reason to uncheck it because you could always just use it. Like here, I could use the automatic spy mode on the username field and it will come back with what it thinks was the fastest. So in this case, what? It's wrong is the thing in this case, but that's okay. Like it's just a suggestion, and it's why would it do that? Hold on, did I re-identify? Interesting that it's choosing UIA. So it may not be based purely on the time to identify. It might be also like maybe it has some other kind of checks like good names to use to identify it with. But what's odd is that the username has a web ID. So I don't know why that's a problem. But so there may be something wrong going on there with the automatic spy mode. Let's delete that element. But anyway, what I was going to say is it seems like you just want to leave this turned on and then just, you know, cycle past it if you don't want to use it. Like if I do this, what? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's not bringing it to the foreground. Okay, that's fine. So you can just hit Alt to go past it, and then you can come back around again, automatic spy mode. Yeah, so. And then automatic attribute selection when enabled, automatic application modeler automatically selects attributes to make the spied element unique. I do like this, especially for active accessibility. Obviously you can't use it in, you know, by default when you're spying like you know, doing a browser automation, but active accessibility has a bunch of unuseful attributes that you don't have to uncheck manually if you leave this checked. Maybe I can test that in a little bit. And spy modes to use during custom, okay. Enable custom attributes for spy mode only affects new spying sessions. Any element spied before the setting was able to continue to use the original. Yeah. So I guess you can like, I guess what you do is you check these. Let's see, let's go spy like the username field. Okay. I didn't mean to do that. It used a web path, XPath, and the web text, right? But like, let's say that I want to default to web ID. Oh gosh, where's web ID? Where's web ID? I don't think it spied the right thing. There's web ID. Okay, I don't know why it didn't work before, but anyway, so yeah, you can see that what it did is select XPath, I guess by default, but if I change it to web ID like this, and then I click Save Custom, now when I go do Identify New, and let's do like the password, what it should do for browser mode is select the web ID. It didn't though. If there's not a web ID, there is a web ID though. Wait, why is this not still selected? Maybe I didn't do it. Did I not do it? Dadgummit. Let's try it again. Here. Okay, so for the new one, web ID, yeah. So every time I spy with browser mode, it will select the most recent one that I saved, is my custom set of attributes. So if you had a bunch of spying you need to do, you could save custom, do all that spying, and then you could go, you know, turn this off right here. And yeah, and then it would go back to whatever it was before. So let's test that. I've unchecked it now. And since even though I have the custom settings selected, I should be able to do identify new. Let's do the same one again. And then it should not have used the same one. Yeah, so now it went back to XPath. Okay, so that feature looks like it's working well, and that actually looks very useful. What I'm finding with this, what's going on here? Settings and more, Alt-F. Oh, that's, okay, that threw me off. What I'm finding is that there are a good number of useful features Blue Prism has implemented, but a lot of developers are probably just not even going to use them because it does require like remembering to use it. But I think that's okay. I think it's not a reason not to add them. It's a good idea. But you know, we as developers will need to like try to purposefully use these things to help us get faster. Now let me show you that something doesn't work. Let's see, where is this? I want to see Application Navigator. I've forgotten how to do that. Oh, here. Identify App Navigator. Okay, not sure what's going on here. Oh, right. All right, so let me do that. Okay, so let's choose Application Navigator. And then I'm just going to search for something. We'll just search for like web. Oh, it's working. Okay, so this completely didn't work for me yesterday. I am glad to see that it does work, but it may have some instability, so just recognize that. And if you have a lot of problems with it, you know, report it to Blue Prism. It does seem like it's a little slow. I don't know why that would be, but this is like an incredible amount of time to have to wait for things. It's also like, I don't know why, but certain things you can't search for. And I'm wondering if you just need, oh, do I need to use syntax like in? No. So let me try like, let me find, boy, it's hard to find it. So form, just trying to get to something that I could search for. Let's say like here, employee directory.logo.png. Employee directory.logo.png. No results for this. Like, I guess I'm confused. Like, what is the point of searching if it doesn't search these values? But so, you know, maybe I'm just missing the point, but I don't know. But let's just say that that's what I wanted. Oh, wait, text was text. Okay, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to click add element. Did it do it? It might have done it. Return to application modeler. Okay, so it added it. So it definitely works. That is actually, that's not bad. I wanted to point out though, if for some reason it's not working for you, just go back to using the normal application modeler. Go into here, drop down application modeler, and then you can go in and use the older version of it by doing something. Trust me, I've used Blue Prism before. There it is. Open Application Navigator, and then, you know, logo or whatever. Wait a minute. Hey, the search worked. Okay, so yeah, there's something wrong with the enhanced application modeler's use of this, or functionality for this, because I searched for logo and it actually found exactly what I wanted immediately. And I think what might be different though is if I click OK, does that create it? No, you could do it before. Okay. Yeah, so maybe there's some improvements there for enhanced application modelers, Application Navigator. But I also did find that sometimes it would just straight up, like the window would go completely white and it would never come back until I closed it and reopened it again, and I could never get it to work. But today it's working for me. The other thing was, let's see, I think it was searching this list right here. So if I want to search for like text, it gives me a search dropdown, and I can click on that and it will bring me to this list. But that's not the functionality, at least, that Blue Prism developers are used to. In the past, it would actually filter this list rather than it bring you to that. I think it's not a huge deal, but I just wanted to point that out because I don't like the new way. So if I search for text, it would actually filter the list and bring me down to anything that's got text in it, which I like. This I think is an amazing design. I think it's perfect. I wouldn't change it at all. This other way though feels clunky, and I just don't personally prefer it. It's probably just a design decision. Somebody decided that seemed like it made more sense. But this is weird, and I'll show you why. Like if I were going like, oh, I want to check every element that has the word password in it, and I want to check to see if that thing, like specifically, I want to see the data type is set to password. Well, now in this case, let's say that like all these text edits are password data items, and or password elements, and I just want to check their data types. So I could go down here, find them, and I could click, click, click. But if they are separate from each other in this list, and there's like, 300 elements in this list, then maybe you need to separate your objects. But also, you won't be able to get to them very easily. And in the previous version, I could just go like text or password, and then I could just click, 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 done. But in this one, I have to click, go, oh, look, it's password. And then I could go text, and then go to the next one. Okay. And then I got to go type text. And it's far slower. So we're actually going backwards in terms of efficiency here. Okay. So there's that, but things are working here. I'm not seeing any problem with the functionality. And if you didn't like that, by the way, of course, you just go back and use the original application model. There's no problem with that. But this one's so pretty, except it's not in dark mode. Help. What does help do? Okay, so help brought me to the Blue Prism docs, so that's good. Anything else we need to test? Okay, response time. I guess what we could do, wait for the application to respond before throwing an exception. I want to try, wait, can I not fill that in? I probably got to detach. No? Wait, what? I think I'm typing, right? Provide the time the object will wait for the application to respond before throwing an exception. Right? I can't type any numbers. Okay, so that doesn't work. Oh man. All right. There might be a few things to submit as bugs, but they're all really small things so far. None of these things would matter to me for upgrading to this version. This is perfectly fine. Because I don't even need that functionality. And I don't think it ever existed before. Oh my gosh. Huh. Wait, did that exist before? Let me go check a version 6 object. Huh, sure enough, that was there in version 6 as well. And you can't type into it then either. What is the point of that? I bet there's a way to do it and I just don't know how. I can't believe I've never noticed that before. Okay, so it's not a bug, but I just don't understand why it's like that, which is very different from a bug. Okay, so I take back what I said about that feature. It's I think it's just much easier to see when it's in here. Like it stands out to me. Okay, the other thing I want to test is deleting the application model. So let's go into general properties, delete application model, and then I would have to create a new one. Find a new application model. Okay, cool. That looks good to me. Let me close and reopen the object. Okay, let's go ahead and use some of this now. All right, let's just call this like login, and I want to write into the username field. I guess I should use a data item. Username, password, and then we'll click the button. So let's just make sure that works. I think, okay, so there's some shortcuts now. Maybe this always existed, but I think F5 will run it. Uh-oh, right username, okay, missing data username, right? I'm an idiot. Let's pretend like that didn't happen. Let's create the username. And password. Another data item will be available this page. Oh. Update all references. I guess that doesn't hurt anything. Does it? Actually. Okay. Okay. Let's undo. Okay, here's what happened. I have this data item here called username and username up here. And then I have one called password. And a lot of times what I'll do is I will duplicate a data item and then I'll go and rename it. But when I rename it to like password, what it's going to do is rename the reference, any references to it. So when I click OK, it's actually warning me. Another data item is available this page, the same name. Do you want to update all the references? The previous one, whatever. So this one basically steals, any references. So what I should have done, go back, rename it again, and I should have gone password, and then let's click OK. And instead of doing yes, I should have said no. Uncheck this, click OK. Wait, what? Oh, wait, why did it rename what I did? Okay, that's kind of a bad user experience. If I type something and then I uncheck this box, wait, what? Is it because I clicked OK and then no? Oh, okay. I need to bring that up too. This shouldn't get wiped out. Like I typed what I wanted to type. It should not overwrite what I had. Let me just do it one more time. So I click OK. No. It shouldn't change it back. It should just leave it the same. And then I can uncheck this box and now I can click OK. And then it doesn't break the reference. So this is what changed before to password. Now it's left still as username. All right, let's try that again. I still don't have anything in this. Let's go create like a credential. New. We'll call this like employee directory login. The username is BP virtual user. I created this in that application. I'm not just making this up. And I'm not going to really share what that password is because you theoretically could go to that website and log in, and I'd prefer people don't do that. I'm not going to deal with permissions. Okay, let's click OK. Uh-oh. Failed to save credential, could not encrypt data because the scheme, test scheme in app server is invalid. Okay. Let's go to the encryption scheme. Test scheme in app server is invalid. Wait, why? Key location server. I don't think I meant to have that. It cannot be deleted because it's in use. Oh, there it is. Wow. Okay. There. Okay, so there's a drop down. I knew somewhere there was a drop down that let me choose the default encryption scheme. I just couldn't remember where it was. So it's down here. Okay. And then now I can delete this? Yeah. Okay. Now I can go back to the credentials and I can retype all that in. Employee directory login. BP virtual user. And I'm just going to give permissions to everything. All right, let's try that again. Now that I've given permissions to everything, I can access it from inside the object. So I'll do that here. credentials, get, I really should, maybe I shouldn't hardcode this, but I think it's fine for the name of the credential, directory login. This, and then, wait, set next stage, there's a shortcut. I think it's like Control-Shift left click. Yeah, look at that! Ah! Okay. And then F5 to run it. Password data type can only be stored in a password data type. Right, I should have changed this to password. So that was another change, is you saw like it, I really shouldn't glaze over these things. But this is a change in version 7, one of the version 7 versions. You can't output from password, like in the get credentials action, you can't output a password data type into a text data item. You have to put into password first, like this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna like mess with the password here. That's not the, so it's not gonna be the real password, but there are real situations you need to take a password and put it to a text data item. So it is okay to do that. It's just you need to be doing it on purpose, and Blue Prism is trying to help make sure you don't accidentally do it. So I could take this password and I could do and just concatenate it with some text or put it into a text data item, and then it will show me what's underneath this. Now that's not the actual password because I just changed it, but let me delete this. And, oh, right, Control-Shift left click, and now let's run it. Oh, whoops. I meant to have this showing. Wait, what? Not connected? Did we just get, we got disconnected. Let's create an attach page. Now, this is something I guess that's also different, so I need to see how this behaves. I think how we normally do this is checking is connected or something. Wait, how do I, no, read stage. Read stage. Read stage. Okay. Is connected. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Can I rename this? Is connected. It's defaulted to false. Get is connected. And then if it is connected, then we move on because we're already good. Otherwise, we attach. Oh, I'm supposed to be testing that too. Wait, let's pretend like this is connected to this. And I was like, oh, I need to put the navigate stage in there. So I just hold Alt and it just snaps in place. Oh, look at that. That's so good. Anyway, if I want to pull it out after I've set it in here, then you hold Alt and Shift and it will pull it out too. Oh, that's so good. Attach. And we want to attach. Now, this is the part that I'm unsure about. The process name, for now, I guess I should do like process name, and it can be on like the initialize. I forgot how to create data items. Process name. I should have called it like browser process name or something. And then this can use it. Oh, it's not global right now. So hide from other pages, no. We're going to attach. But when we attach, is that, like what do we attach to? It used to be, we could just put like, you could do like, let's do window title here. Yeah, oh, I wanted this to be capital letters, didn't I? Okay, so it used to be you could just type like Microsoft Edge, but that's not going to work anymore because now, like how Selenium, I guess, attaches, maybe that was the reason for this change. It uses the like tab title, or even, I mean, I guess, which is the same thing as the window title, but it doesn't have like Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome at the end of it. So let me just verify this doesn't work before I assume that. Hitting F10 to step. Yeah, so unable to contact the tab. Oh, I like that it words it like that. Okay. So my problem with this is that, like, what if I just want to attach to it no matter what the tab title is? I guess. One way that we could do this, I think we could use this window. Am I using these? I'm not using these, right? These were just test elements. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to. What? Oh, because we're not attached. That makes sense. Win32. So, yeah, so like there's the window title. And basically, I think the tab title is login, and it doesn't have this part. So it might think of it says work or personal here. So it's the tab title is just everything, all this taken off and what's left. But like, how do you get the tab title dynamically? There's probably a way, but that's something that I want to look into at some point. I'll leave that there. So, actually, wait. Yeah, I wanted to test this. Do this, and then can it just give me... Yeah, you could just do like get attribute and then name the attribute, figure out what that is, get it to return it to you. Strip out like personal Microsoft Edge or work Microsoft Edge, and then use what's left. And then that way you could get it to just attach to whatever is there. Something like that. Okay. Okay, so if we just change the window title for now to like login. What is connected? Right, because we launched it. I just want to close this one. Let's try that again. It should attach, and then we'll just make sure that it did by like highlighting something. Okay, so highlight it. Oh, I guess I should make sure that the browser mode elements work. Highlight element. It doesn't look like it's always working to bring the window to the foreground, though. That's supposed to work, but it doesn't seem like it always does. Okay, and then, wait, 445 milliseconds? Really? No, 83 milliseconds. Oh yeah, that's faster. Okay. So, okay, now though, once I have logged in, which we can do here. Wait, Control-Shift F5. Okay, this is a different window title, so, you know, attaching Control-Shift, left click. It fails here because it doesn't have a window title of login, so what we can do instead is test another change, which is that if we provide a collection of window titles, the name of this field, there's like several different names that this can be. I'm actually, you know what? I think it can be, the name of the field can be literally anything. And if I put login here, employee dashboard, and then project dashboard is another one. So I can kind of like preload it with all of the possible window titles, which maybe is not ideal. But I mean, for a lot of applications, this really does work. So, all right, and then employee dashboard. So now let's change the attach. Instead of using the window title, we'll have it use the window titles. Let's see if this gives me help text. It doesn't give any help text, but so this should allow multiple different field names though. So if I do attach, Control-Shift left click, and then F10 to step over, it more than one application matched the criteria. Don't do this to me. Come on. Login. How is this still a thing in 2025? We've got MS Edge. We've got window titles. There's only one MS Edge tab open. You kidding me? Like, there's more than one application match the criteria. This shouldn't be a thing. Guess we'll try child index 0. This isn't going well. Child index 1. Did it work? Oh, that's not going to work. What am I doing? Yeah, of course, no matching mobile. Okay, let's do identify new. No, this didn't work. See? It's not. Oh, wait, no, it did. What? Okay, it was just slow? Why is UIA not working? Okay, let's assume that just something went weird here. We're gonna just close this. We're going to close this, and we're gonna relaunch it. Launch. Okay, and then we're gonna try to attach to it again, but we want to have no child index the first time I test this. It's connected already. Okay, yeah, right. Oh, it worked. Well, what was I complaining about before? I'm confused. What was it doing? I guess I must have tricked it or something, because I launched it once, then I had it launch again, and then I closed that new launch, and for some reason it couldn't connect to the old one. But I don't know what the reason is for that. It worked. Oh, I don't have to click highlight to make sure it works now. If I do this and it says time to identify and it has a time, that means it found it. Okay. Okay. All right, it worked. I don't know what was going on before, so that was kind of strange. Okay. Let's log. Control-Shift left click F5. We should make sure that wait stages work. So let's do one at the beginning here. Oh, no, wait, no, go back. We gotta test the new features. So I do this and I go Alt. Okay, yeah, okay, I can't make this. There's no way for them to know how to make this connect into. That's fine. Okay, and I need a. Okay, if I hold Alt, why doesn't it? Okay, wait. Maybe if I delete this and I give it like here, parent document loaded. Is that what that says? And true. I want it to be very quick to fail if it's not there. So 3 seconds. For real, you'd do 30 or 60 or something. Let's grab an exception stage, hold Alt. So that's interesting. Don't know how to make it grab onto that. Seems like it should, right? Like, if I hold Alt, do this. Okay, that's fine. I don't really feel like filling this in. Okay, let's do that. Username, just to make it readable. Control-Shift, left-click. So it shouldn't find it here. It should time out after 3 seconds and go this way. Okay, that looks good. It's a terrible exception message. Let's go back and reset. Control-Shift, left-click. F5. This is not full speed because, you know, we are not running from control room, so this is full speed for inside of Object Studio. And I feel like I'm missing something. We need an attach. So, wait. Alt? Oh yeah. Oh, it connected. Oh, it connects to one, then it connects to the other. That's fine. And then I guess I just need to delete this and reconnect it. Okay, so that looks like an almost valid login. You might have like a check to make sure that something loaded at the end of this. I'm just not going to do that right now because I'm just testing things. Let's see here. Information. This is a foreground object. If I write anything, it'll be a C#. Oh, let's do C#. Let's go test that. Test C#. Code. What are we going to have it do? I'm not going to be able to think of anything good off the spot, though. On the spot. Let's see if it will let me do like a local function or something. Oh, no, we should actually put it in the global code. That's what we should do. So I want a function that will be called like, I don't know, return something. And I should probably give it an input like, we'll give it like an input of an integer. And then we will have an output parameter like output number stored in output. We want output equals return something. Go to the global code, which we can click directly to from here. That's pretty cool. And I don't know that it needs to be called public static, but we're gonna return something. And it'll take an input. Wait, how do I do this again? Int some number. And then we'll like return that some number plus 100. Okay. There we go. And return some number. Oh, I could have done an input like number in. Then I could have passed it number in return something number in. Oh, I was expecting it to give me an error because this is a decimal going into an integer input. Why is it not giving me an error about that? Am I crazy? Number in, the number in goes into return something, and return something is an integer. So if it goes into that as a decimal, it's going to get chopped off. Why did it not have a problem with that? Oh, wait, method must have a return type. Oops, awkward. Oh, I can just open this. Global code. Oh, whoops. Public static. Int. Argument 1. Yeah, there it is. Cannot convert from decimal to integer. Oh. What's going on here? I need to take an input. Number in. And then this one I think I can just do convert. No. Convert dot to int 32. Do 245. Update all references. All right, that's irritating. Okay. Cool. So it added 100 to 245 and got 345. So code stages work at least a little bit. Oh, can't I like debug this? Let's save this in case I break it. So let me step in, maybe. I'm gonna hit F11 on this. I think that's gonna open Visual Studio. Set the currently selected as default. Manually choose the debugging engines. Manually choose debugging engines. Wait, what does that mean? Set the current selected debugger as the default. Okay. Return some number. System.diagnosis would be launch. Break. Output return something convert 2 and 32 number in. So I can step over, and then it'll go back. It's weird. This like is still debugging. That's a little strange. Oh wait, what? Return something. Return something. Huh, that's pretty cool. Don't save. Okay. Okay, while we're here, let's see. There's control now zooms, like control plus mouse wheel. Whereas before it was shift, and shift now goes left and right. I don't remember what control did before. I think maybe control went left and right. And then up and down is just normal scroll wheel. So that's a nice change to be more like what we expect, like in most applications, where control causes a zoom in and out. Collection fields. Do I have any collections? Right, I never tested having like a second field in here, but if I have more fields, you can actually now move them and they'll stay like that in whatever order you gave to them. I suppose I should test like importing CSV. Wait, import and import CSV. All right, yeah, I don't want this. I want import CSV. So I think I tested this before and it was weird. Let's test it again though. Where did that go to? I don't want to do that. Just try name type description and go like field. Let's see like first name, last name, text, text, go like age, number, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Import CSV, test. It's being used by another process. Why would that matter? I don't understand. It's a CSV file. See, okay. You can ignore missing fields by setting missing field found to null. Field at index 1 does not exist. The header row is not imported into the collection. Oh, wait. Oh, is the only problem just that I already had stuff in here? Is that the issue? And it's like, oh, you can't have data in there already. Gosh. I'm silly. Okay, let's try this with no fields in there to begin. Oh, no, it still failed. Unexpected error. Field at index 1 does not exist. Formatted like you'd... Oh, it's a CSV file. Why would you put tabs in a CSV file? What is this? Man, get that out of here. What in the world? All right, Microsoft. I see you. I'll remember that. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's supposed to be fine, but let's do this. Okay, I changed it to be commas. Let's see if Blue Prism likes that. Hey, there we go. So it's just because it was tab delimited that was the issue. Okay, cool. And then initial values, I assume I can just do it as simple as, I create another one called temp2 CSV. In this one, I'm going to use, well, at least I think this is how it would work. Wait. No. Yeah. First name, last name, age, and then my favorite examples, Most Stooge, we'll say he's 45. Larry Stooge, 44. And Curly Stooge, he's the oldest this time. And then if I import CSV, oh, that's so good. Okay. I'm okay with this. That's really incredible because super often I've wanted to be able to do this. Okay, there's another change that I wanted to verify looked good. This doesn't really matter, but it used to be for flag environment variables and also flag data items. When you, oh no, not flag data items, inside of collections. So let me go edit this a little bit. We just change, let's add a field. And we'll make this a flag. Okay, when you used to be when you clicked into it like this, when I like click in a new row and it brings up these options, it would automatically select like true or false. I can't remember which one it would do. And that has been fixed. So let me just go. I mean, I've already tested it just now, right? But yeah, so it's good to go now. It doesn't select anything until you specifically choose to with a second click. Same thing with the environment variables. It used to do that. So here's a flag. When I'd click into it, it would like automatically change it to false, or it would automatically change it to true. So let me just click. Yeah, so you can see when I click in it the first time, it doesn't change the value, whereas it used to do that every single time. Okay. All right, I didn't test highlighting inside of a navigate stage. Click login. So I select this. Where's the website? Do I? Oh, we're not on the login page. highlight, and highlight. Hey, that's nice. That's pretty useful. I like that without having to go into Application Modeler to check that out and see like where it points to. You know what? What does this do? Does this still work? Yeah, that still works. So that's that like filtering when you search rather than like how it does in the enhanced application modeler. Okay, it used to be that when you did Control F, I don't think that worked. It might have done something different, but you had to do like Control Shift. Wait, Control Shift F. Now you can do just Control F to bring up the advanced find in order to look for something, username, and then find all the places that that's mentioned in. There is a change to these like reset and refresh buttons. Okay, so the refresh button, which one's that? Reset. So this one's refresh and this one's reset. Let's use like one of the web APIs. So like the 8-ball API, it has, I guess what we could check is like get biased reading. I could add maybe an output to it. And, or maybe I'll add an input. I don't know. Yeah, I'll add an input to it. So we'll click OK. Let's say that we're using this. And in the middle of using it, let's see, if I'm stepping through here, Control Shift left click. So, okay, so we got true that we are connected and our next stage, or our set next stage or whatever it's on is connected. And what I'm expecting is that I can go over and change the definition of this web API. Oops, wrong one. This web API that we're using. So I could actually move this to the attach page so we can see them together. I should be able to change this so we get a new input, refresh, and get that without it causing the object to reset and losing our progress for stepping through. Okay, let's go to the web API, 8-ball, and which one did I use? Get biased reading. Okay, so I'll just go add a new input, call it test, expose, okay. And now I go back in and we shouldn't see it in the list initially, right? But then if I hit refresh, now we have that new input and I could now use it while still stepping through and not losing my progress with any of the other data items. Very good. While I'm on that topic, I believe there's been a change to environment variables. So I don't think I'm using any here. Let's say that I wanted to have an environment variable used in this object. Let me go grab one. We'll use the one here at the top, 8-ball API base URL. Click OK on this guy. I'll probably go hide from other pages. No. Okay. If I update the value while I'm stepping, let's see. So let's set next stage here. And so, we are basically in the middle of a debug session. If I wanted to change this URL, I could go to that environment variable and I could change it. So let's just do we'll put like a / at the end of it. Apply. And you can see it's not there. If I do refresh, I actually don't remember if it's going to add it or not. Let's see. Okay, so I did refresh. Why did it bring me to here? Okay. Oh, I did. Look at that. There it is. That / is there. So I think that there was an issue before where you had to go in and actually you had to open the environment variable to get it to bring over a new variable or a new value. And this is something that I just recently realized is even a thing. And it's in a thing for a lot of versions of Blue Prism. It's not really a problem, but it's a thing. So let's say that I change both environment variables here. Let's just put test on the end of each of these so it's really obvious. Okay, apply. If I hit refresh, it would refresh them both. But because I think 7.4, I think this refresh doesn't refresh these. Like I could be wrong, but I think that's the case. You had to double click and open the environment variable to get it to refresh. And that would also trigger the other ones to refresh. So let's see if it does that. It does. Yeah. So it still does, but both things will cause it to refresh and get the new value. And then we'll just go test it one more time. I'm going to delete test on the end of these. And refresh. It's weird that refresh brings you to where you, that's like doing the same thing as focus debug stage. Shift F5. I kind of like that. So like anywhere I am, I could just do Shift F5 and it would bring me here. I mean, it's also refreshing, but I can also use it as a focus debug stage shortcut. Okay, that's fine. And then if I go over here though, it looks like it didn't pick up the update. Am I crazy? Did I update these? You know what it is? It's still got a bug. It's still got the same bug, I feel like. No, there's no way. Wait, when did I report that? So I reported a bug at some point where if you go into the environment variables area and you change, let me just go out of here and do this. Go to the environment variables area and you change a value. Like let's say it starts as, here's a better example. This one starts at 60. If I change it to 62, okay, that change did get applied. But now if I try to change it back to 60, like its original value, it looks like it's changed back. But now if I click away and come back, it's still 62. And so there's some issue there in that. So that bug still does exist in this version. But also, I think that's a bug in literally every version of Blue Prism since potentially the beginning of time, but I don't know because I don't know how far back it goes. It goes at least far back as 6.10.1. Blue Prism's already aware of it. They already reproduced it, acknowledged it, and they're gonna, they've got it on the backlog for updating. I just, for some reason, my brain was thinking it was solved as of this version, but it's not. And you can actually tell it in here as well. If I search for this in the audit log, I can see that I changed the variable from 60 to 62, but you can see there's no log for changing it back. The only way to do that is to click away from the system tab entirely. You can't even go to another area here. You have to go away from the system tab entirely, come back, and then now it's sort of refreshed it. You can change to whatever value you want. So I can go back to 60 like that. And it'll be, in the audit log again there. So now it's back to what it was before. Right. There is a new option in the errors pop-up. You can do show only errors. So I know a lot of us were frustrated for a long time with this. You'd see this crazy number of steps before you'd see this crazy number of results when checking for errors, and you kind of had to scroll through the list and identify like what level do you actually care about. And so that's why they've added it to this option to just show only errors. So you could choose to leave these here if you want to. But I'll point out, you don't have to leave these here. So like this no store in mapping set for output parameter. Let's say that you just don't care about that thing. You never want to see it again. You can go to the system tab, design something, design control. And let's see, that was, what would this be in? Desktop, documentation control, flow validation. It might be flow validation. Looking for no store in mapping. There it is. Wait, no, it's not. It tricked me. Wait, what? Here we go. No store in mapping. I don't see that. Let's go back here. Maybe it's this. There it is. No store in mapping set. So I can just uncheck this, or I could change its, its severity. Why can't I hit that drop down? I could change the severity, but also I could just uncheck it, click OK, and then now Oh, this is another good test. What happens? Do I just check again and it goes away? Oh, look at that. It went away. Okay. I don't actually want that, so I'm going to go back and undo that right now because that's going to confuse me later. If somebody asks me to reproduce something and I'm like, why don't I see that problem? Okay. Check again. Okay, so now it's back. But that's an option that you have. But yes, show only the only errors. And then if you had any errors, like let's see if I can reproduce one. If you have a stage, let's see, it's like a navigate stage. Navigate. Okay. Click OK. And you see how it has like an input called address. But if I change it to, oh, that's already done. If I change it to like, let's do launch now. Okay, and then I go to check for errors. It's going to say row 1 contains an argument, new URL, that is not defined in the application model. I think that's that address input. And it's because we selected one thing. It put into the XML for that input parameter. And then for whatever reason, maybe it's a bug, I don't know, but it's not cleaning up the XML when I changed to a different action. To fix XML issues like that, that's underneath inside the stage, you can do repair all. So you do show only errors. You then select the specific one that you want to automatically correct, since you can't easily correct it yourself, and then repair selected, or you can just do repair all. So in this case, I'll do repair selected. Let me then go back, or undo. Okay, we've got it back now. I did Control Z. Instead of doing, wait a second. Why can't I click repair all? Repairable. Wait, row 1 supplies a blank expression to, oh, right. Navigate, let's change it to launch. Errors. Okay, so now we've got this repair all thing. Repair, this was not repairable. So I could have done just repair all and it wouldn't have affected anyways. So that's another new feature. I like it. So I guess there's supposed to be a way to see the number of spied elements in here. Number of spied elements has been added to the identification tool. Oh. So like when you're doing identify new and you're going like holding shift. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I didn't even notice that before. Yeah, you can see it's going, the number's going up for spied elements. I'll see if I can include that on the screen as well. Oh yeah, that's pretty useful. Cool. That way you can like confirm whether or not you clicked it and then control right click. Okay, cool. They also fixed another issue that I think a lot of longtime Blue Prism developers are going to recognize. Use this object. All right, so there's very little wrong with this one. So let's do this. Show only errors. Okay, blank name. Repair all. Okay, so now there's no problems. If you have like a collection, we'll call this collection data. Okay, we would get an error if we uncheck this box. It says collection data is not referenced. And what I can do, let me just copy this real quick. Okay, what I can do is go repair all, or I can select and do repair, and it's gonna repair, quote unquote, but the way it repairs it is by deleting it. So it's gone now, so that repaired it. But let me bring it back. Okay. This is not valid in cases where, at least in previous versions of Blue Prism, when you would reference the collection, I need to go test this. So in like Blue Prism 6.10.1, for example, and I think a number of other versions, if you were referencing the collection by pointing to like a specific field, say there's a field 1, and you did this data.field1, and then you set it into some other data item or something. This previously, well, now that's interesting. Collection data is not referenced, but it clearly is. Wait, I thought they fixed that. Hold on a minute. Collections not referenced no longer. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta look this up. I'm a little confused by this. I mean, like, you look at this with me. It's data.field1, right? Like data.field1. It's definitely referencing the collection. But then it still shows it as this, and probably if I click repair all, oh, wait. So they did fix it, sort of. Missing collection, invalid expression, missing collect. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Okay, collection data is not referenced. Okay, but it definitely is. And now if I do repair all, it gets deleted. I don't think that's been fixed. I feel like that's doing the same thing it did before in version 7.4 when the issue was introduced. So maybe that bug isn't actually fixed. Maybe I will report that bug. We'll see. Okay, so I think I've pretty much tested everything and it's looking good. Oh, I haven't done Invoke JavaScript. Let's test that. I don't know if it'll work in this application. I suppose it would. I don't know why it wouldn't actually. Let's do test invoke JavaScript. And we need, okay, we're going to need a few things. So in application modeler, doing this off memory, so if I get this wrong, I'm sorry. When we launch the application, we need to detach to be able to edit this. Okay, remote-debugging-port equals 9222. And I've read that you can do any port that's available. I'm just doing 9222 because I have no idea what port to choose. So there's that. And then for Chrome, I'll have to do a little extra when we test that in a second. But this should be, I think this should be all that's required for this to work. Because I have that box checked in the system tab that lets Selenium download the driver for me. So you got to have the driver, you have to have remote debugging port, and obviously the right extension, and attached. We are not attached, so I'll have to do that. And then I need to, so I could just do attach. Okay, I'm a little conflicted about what the best way is to do this, but most recently I have been testing it like this. So I'm just going to pick some input of some kind, and, or actually any element. I don't know why I said input. Invoke JavaScript function, and then there are two other ones: invoke JavaScript event, invoke JavaScript insert JavaScript fragment. I haven't gotten insert JavaScript fragment to work at all in 7.4.1, but I also haven't tested it much. So, maybe it would work. I just haven't done it much. Hey, this is Dave. While I'm editing the video, after I recorded this, I then went and tested insert JavaScript fragment, and it does actually work. You just have to put in the characters you need to indicate that it's a null arguments list. And so I'm going to show that right after we do the invoke JavaScript function test. So in just a minute, I'll insert another sort of editing Dave kind of video to show you how insert and then invoke works, and then we'll get back to the rest. What I'm most interested in is invoke JavaScript function, which we often use, and really probably event. We often use that to get around, to do workarounds for times when you write into a field using like a write stage, and that doesn't trigger the event needed for the web page to accept the value or to, whatever it does. So I'm going to do a test here of just something very simple. Alert test. And this should pop up an alert on the web page when it invokes the JavaScript immediately. This is a little weird because this is asking for function name, but I just randomly test. No, I think I looked it up actually in the Blue Prism docs. What I was doing before is I would have to insert JavaScript fragment, and I would insert a named function in JavaScript, and then here I would put the name of that function, and then if there are any arguments, you put that here, and then you do insert using this action up here, And then a separate like step is you do invoke to call whatever function you just inserted. But this looks like it's working, so I'm going to test it. I haven't tested it today, but we'll find out if it's still working or not. And that's not what I wanted to do. Control-Shift-left click. And then let's see if it works. Oh, wait, we didn't launch it. I'm dumb. Yeah, this isn't, okay, this is 100% cannot work. I don't like that it's taking forever, but still, I guess weird things can happen if you don't have the pieces in place. So I'm going to click this and do close. Okay, and then it failed, so that's good. I actually need to do launch now that I have the remote debugging port as part of the URL, like that option. Okay, so it's connected now. Now I think it will work. Yeah. So it just triggered by JavaScript, by inserting invoking JavaScript to make an alert pop up on the page that says test. I think there might be certain kinds of JavaScript that won't work going forward in Manifest version 3, but I just haven't come across any that doesn't work. I've used jQuery and JavaScript, and it just depends on whether or not the web page already has jQuery in it as to whether that's going to work or not. And then JavaScript has always worked, as far as I can tell. So as I said a bit ago, I wanted to show how inserting and invoking JavaScript can work. What I just showed you was back when I originally recorded this video, when I was only thinking toward just using invoke because I didn't know how to get insert and invoke to work in version 7. Turns out you get it to work exactly the same as you do in version 6. So I was being a little bit silly there. So let me show you how that works. First, I want to show you how it works, which I probably just did this in the video, but real quick, I'll show you this. I'm going to launch. Of course, I'm using the remote debugging port to launch this as one of the arguments. And here's the original that I believe I just showed in the video. Alert like this, and having test in here. You can use input parameters and stuff. In this case, the value is test, and I'm not passing it in as an argument. When I'm doing invoke, I don't need to have anything in the arguments input down here. So I can just, we're already attached, so normally that would run, but I don't need it here. I'm just going to step over this. Okay, so it instantly runs the JavaScript that I just showed. And now let me duplicate this. Okay, we'll call this one test insert and invoke JavaScript. And then I'll move this down. We're actually going to close the browser and reopen it in just a second. Okay, the first one is going to invoke JavaScript, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a function in a second called something like test function. So this is just the name of the function that we need. We are invoking JavaScript function because that's something that we're going to insert in a minute. The arguments that we need are going to be, to have a null arguments identifier, we need square brackets, and then inside that we need curly braces. Square brackets, curly braces. And then let me go over to this one. We'll change the action to be insert JavaScript fragment. And then we will actually put that same code, but we're going to put in a function. So let me open this up actually. Okay, so put this in double quotes, and we want our original code. So alert, test, like that. And then going beyond that to make it a function, we type the word function, the name of our function, open close parentheses. This is where your input parameters would go. Open curly brace, and then at the end here, close curly brace. So we've got our code, and then inside the body of the function, the name of the function, and then the function identifier. Okay, and then that should be it. So we're going to insert that function, and then we're going to invoke it. I probably should have named this insert like that. Okay, and then let me set next stage. Okay, we're actually going to have to launch, right? So let's launch. Wait for it to attach. Okay, and then insert. We don't see anything, but then when we invoke, we'll see that it does the same thing as before. So this is exactly the same thing as running this. The difference is that here we're actually inserting JavaScript into the page that we can call over and over. Okay, so that works. And now, instead of just leaving you with not knowing how to use input arguments or input parameters, I think I might figure that out and make it work and then show you an example of that. Okay, so I figured it out. And by figured it out, I mean I Googled it. So to use input parameters and to then insert it into JavaScript to actually use like input params in the JavaScript function itself, then you need to do a few things. So first thing is that we need to define the function itself. So let's go to insert JavaScript here. And we're going to change this. So, you know, instead of test going like this, we obviously could just like do this. I guess I should point it out. I need the single quotes actually still. You could do this, have a data item like this, and this would work fine. But if you want to actually have input parameters for the function itself, then let's go back to here. Instead of the single quotes, we're just going to use a variable name. So we need, let's call it something like input text. And then what's going to end up happening is we're going to create a JSON object that has sort of fields inside of it. And I think it can get more complex than this, but I'm just going to give you the, I feel like there's no end to the complexity, so I don't know why I keep saying that. Input text, and then we are going to name each of our fields something simple. So I'm going to call it value1, and then I am going to do like this, just to put a space between them, and input text value2. Okay, so you know, you could just have one, just to mention, if you only one value. If you only needed one value, then it would look like this. But I want to show you doing two values. You know what? Let's do it simple first. Seems like a good idea, right? So let's keep it simple. We got input text.value1. The reason for that is we're going to have to pass in an actual object. We can't pass in just text, I guess. So I'm going to click OK here and then OK here. Let's go into Invoke JavaScript. And then at this point, we need to open up the arguments. And inside of this is where we put our JSON object. This is an array of JSON objects. This represents a JSON object. And so inside here, we're just going to give it a field name like value1 and a colon. And then I'm just going to put a hard code the value for a second here. So test value 1. Okay, and then let's try that. I'm going to close the browser just so that we always know we are actually inserting new JavaScript. Control-Shift, left-click, F10, F10. Okay, so you can see that it got test value 1. So the value of test value 1 is not in the JavaScript itself, the JavaScript function. We passed it in through the input. Now let's say that you want to not hard code that directly into the invoke part. We currently have it hard coded here. So let's change that. So delete that. I'm going to put double quotes here, ampersand. By the way, you may find that you get it really complicated with having to do like double quotes, especially if you have to have double quotes anywhere in the JavaScript and stuff. You can do these same things, putting it inside of a data item, and that makes it simpler. And then you don't have to do all the escaping and stuff. So value1 equals, and then we'll just create like a data item named value1. Let's go create one called that. Value1, and then we'll put, what did we say, test value1. You know, we could make it a little more interesting, I think. Let's go with like, my name is this, and then let's get rid of this. Let's make sure that that still works. launch it. Insert and invoke. Okay, so we get my name is. Now let's say that we want to have a second variable. I think there's maybe there's a few ways to do this, but this seems the simplest to me. Actually, let's go into our JavaScript. In here, instead of just my name is, I'll put a space and then I need a plus sign. Remember, this is JavaScript in here, so spaces are going to be ignored. So I need to insert my own little space, and then I'm concatenating with, by using these plus signs. I copy this, and we'll name our second one. Actually, let's make it a little more clear. Let's see, say like sentence intro, and then our second one will be like first name. Let's name it like that. And then I guess afterward we can put like a period. Okay, so I don't know if this is hard to read, but it's, let's see, can I line down? So basically it's like this. That's what's happening. We got the function surrounding it. We got some JavaScript in here. And inside of the alert function we're calling, we're just passing like input text dot sentence intro, and then a space, input text dot first name, and then a space. And we're going to go make sure that both of these fields exist. Field may not be the right word, but it feels right to me. We're going to make sure that both of those exist in our JSON object as the input. So in Invoke JavaScript, and then inside of the arguments, we need to create that. So we got value 1. We're going to change that to sentence intro. And we'll use, instead of value 1, let's actually call that sentence intro. So we have sentence intro. So this is like one object by itself, but we're going to add to this a second field, I guess. I'm not sure if that's the right term. Right here, I'm going to put a comma, and then I'm just going to copy all of this, paste it again, and then just change to what I need. First name, and then first name, and I'll go create these data items. Sentence intro. I'm going to uncheck update all references since I just copied that. First name, and put Dave. Let's make sure we don't have any errors. No errors. So let's close this to test it. Insert, invoke. Okay, so we get my name is Dave. So that is a simple, hopefully a simple example of how to do this. And I just didn't feel right about not giving an example of how to use input parameters or input arguments. I guess to show why this is helpful to have insert and invoke separately, let me just show an example of calling insert JavaScript for a function and then calling invoke 2 different times without inserting again, because I guess I haven't tested or shown that. So I should probably make sure it works. So here we have a sentence intro and we have a first name being pulled from a data item. What I'll do is change this to like first name 2. And you could like, you know, theoretically you could be looping over like a collection or something, but I'll just make it kind of simple. So first name 1 and then first name 2. We'll go with Bryce. And then I'm not going to reset. Do I want to reset? Yeah, I'm going to reset. So we got 2 different names. And then let me make sure that I have them both being called correctly. So the second one calls first name 2. The first one is still calling just first name, but I can fix that. Oh no, wait, I don't remember typing that. First name 1. All right, let's close this, launch it again. And just to prove that the function does not exist in there right now, if I set next stage on invoke and run it, it will say JavaScript invoker return the following error message, JavaScript error test function is not defined. So I'll go back up and we'll run insert to put that function in there. Now we can reuse it multiple times. So this says my name is Dave, and then this says my name is Bryce. So that way you can reuse the function. Now, I don't know what happens if, like, how long does that function stay there? If you refresh the page, does it go away? I don't know. Let's try it. If I refresh the page, my thought is this got a new page from the server and it's not going to contain that JavaScript. So I think if I run this again, it's going to say it doesn't exist. Yeah. So maybe page reloads, anything you've inserted might go away, and stuff like that. So there might be other things that might remove it. So you'll have to figure out for your particular instance which one you need. Personally, I would recommend using invoke JavaScript like this, where you just put the JavaScript you need at the time and then it doesn't exist after that, or at least it's not callable after that. And so you can't accidentally conflict between times you're trying to call certain functions. So if you try to insert 2 different times, what does that do? Okay, well, now that you asked the question, let's test it. So if I already have, I'm going to insert the function once actually, and then insert it again. Let's insert some JavaScript, then let's invoke it, and then let's insert the same function name again, but let's have it do something different. Like, I want to make sure it has the same function signature, so I don't want to completely change this. So I'll just do like test. I'll put an extra word in it, and that way we can see which one runs. So let's close this and launch it again. And then let's make sure it doesn't exist. I just want to make sure. Okay, it doesn't exist. Okay, and now it says my name is Dave. Now if I insert this one and then run again. Okay, so it appears to me as though it overwrites it. Now, are there now 2 functions in there with the same name and somehow it's just conflicting, the second one's being run and the first one's being ignored? I don't know. That sounds like something JavaScript would do. So that's just something to be aware of. If it turns out that it doesn't seem to hurt anything, then I guess you could just insert over top of the same function and not have to worry about it, but I would do plenty of testing to make sure. Okay, I think I've done this kind of testing enough. I'm satisfied that it works pretty well, and you just have to make sure you have all the dependencies in place. Otherwise, you could run into problems with the JavaScript invoker getting hung up or just failing or whatever. And that's all I have for this stuff. I'm going to get back to the video now. I believe the next thing I'm going to show is how to do invoke JavaScript in Chrome. It is almost exactly the same thing. There's just one difference with the flag you need to use when you're doing the launch arguments. Let me save this object and let's clone it. Wait, save. Why can't I save as? There we go. Save as. And test Chrome version 7.4.1. Okay, so here we're opening the new object that I just created from the other one, and I will adjust it slightly to work for Chrome. I think what we gotta do is change the path to the executable. And the other thing might be, like, if there's a window title in anything, then that wouldn't work. But I don't know if I left that in there. So let's save this. I do need to relaunch this. Of course, this time it's going to launch Chrome, so I guess I'll go close Chrome. All right, here's Chrome. Let me get this out of the way. And then, oh, it's taking a while to connect. Is that a bad thing? That's a bad thing. Right, I forgot. Okay, let's close this. Hopefully it will fail quickly. Let's do application modeler, general properties. Actually, I don't know why that failed. It shouldn't, I wouldn't think it would have. I did launch it with the remote debugging port though, so maybe that's why. Okay, so we have to add an extra one to this. I'll put it first. I don't think it matters though. We need user data directory. See, and this location, I just went with what Blue Prism suggested. I don't really even understand the implications here, but it has something to do with profiles in Chrome, and people were taking advantage of this functionality to steal data or something. So in our case, we're not really worried about that in machines that are controlled. So while this might actually be like a less secure way to use Chrome or Edge, you would just need to lock down your environment so people can't get to your machines and do stuff with them. So I'm gonna save this, and I think that this will work. It will launch in like a new or blank profile. Let's try that. I want to show what this looks like. Okay, so you won't be able to see what it looks like the first time, but if you do this as well, what will happen is you'll get like the new profile screen. And what I chose to do is somewhere on the bottom right, there's a button that was like continue without logging in or something like that. And I had no problems after that. I guess you could log in, but I just chose not to. Okay, so now let's see if Invoke JavaScript will work. Before I run that, let me make sure that it is working at all. It does look like it is, so because we did time to identify 63 milliseconds. It actually might be faster than Edge. It kind of looked like to me. That was interesting. Control-Shift left click. I think I'm getting better about doing set next stage with the shortcut. Oh, it's already attached, so that didn't matter. But okay, cool. Look at that. So we triggered an alert using JavaScript by invoking JavaScript inside of Chrome. Manifest version 3. Blue Prism 7.4.1 browser extension. I don't know what else to add to that. So that's exciting. I don't know if there's anything else I'm worried about testing. I guess I could go open Process Studio now. Let's go to here. Test version 7.4.1. I do need to test like a desktop application now that I think about it. Let's just see if there's anything here to look at. I think all this stuff works the same. I don't think anything is different, so I'm not really worried about it. But what I could do is go to this object that we've created, and we could, yeah, we could test this. Let's publish. Oh, I don't have a launch. I'm going to make this really simple. Launch path. Oh wait, are we using Chrome? I think I want to switch back to, yeah, I want to switch back to the other object, because while Chrome is good to test, I don't use Chrome at work because it's not even allowed to be installed, so that doesn't do me any good. Edge, that's not what I wanted. 7.4.1. Here we go. So this was the Edge test that I was doing, and I need to publish the login action. And just to make this a little bit easier, I'll put the credential. Okay, hold Alt. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is it doing? No, stop it. No. Hold on, why? Wait a second. What's going on here? I don't think that's working right. What is happening? What? Oh. It did work? I'm confused. I don't know what it was doing just now. But it did work in the end. Alright, so this way it'll just get the username and password directly from a credential manager inside this object. It probably isn't normally the right thing to do, but I think it's fine here. Launch. I need a navigate stage. Ah, dang it. Keep forgetting to test this. There. Launch. Okay, I might would fill these in, but because I would do this if it's different between environments, but I'm not gonna in this case. Path is gonna be the same, so I don't need these things. Just gonna leave it, and that way it'll just use whatever's an application modeler. Let's publish this. I have to change the order of the pages. I do need to potentially close the browser. So let's do close. I think we all know that this is not the greatest way to close an application, but I'm doing it anyways. I think we're assuming that I'm already attached. So I really should be doing this. Oh, I didn't publish it. Publish. Okay, and then do we want it to do something? It can. Oh, you know what? You know what we have to test? We have to create a second object because we need to make sure that a second object can attach. Second, let's see, test 7.4.1 object browser second. Here, this is going to be attaching to an existing or like an instance that's already open. This is going to be Chrome. Attach. Not Chrome. Did I say Chrome? Is this Chrome? Okay, so I messed that up. We actually need to go back to the first one. And launch. Oh, we've got Edge open. Now I go to here and I choose Microsoft Edge. Highlight application. Attach. Uh-oh. Okay, it went away. Employee directory. I probably need to go change. I need the first object's attach page. And identify element, right. Go faster. Okay. So this object will just go identify new, and I think we'll just have it like arbitrarily click add employee. Okay, I don't like that it used UIA, but maybe that's fine. We can test it. I need match index. No. I need to use a browser mode element. That's what it is. Yeah. Only by testing the browser mode element can I actually verify it's successfully attaching properly for the second object in a 64-bit environment here. Web text. So there's no web ID, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. We can just do match index and uncheck this. This is not UIA anymore. Oh my, 9 seconds? I mean, that doesn't seem good. Why is that so slow? Holy cow. Oh, well, that, I mean, explains why it chose UIA instead. Well, let's give this guy the old XPath expression or something. Okay. Add employee. So let's get rid of these. I can type in here so I can see it. Just need any button actually that has the text add employee. Okay. Can I find this now? Yeah. 100 milliseconds. 94. Every time? 70. Okay, so that's a lot faster when we use an XPath expression or CSS selector. And I can just make sure that it's highlighting the right one. Okay, I can barely see the little red that goes around it. A little unfortunate that I'm using red buttons to test this. Okay, this window title thing does apply if I were to attach right here while I'm testing. So I'm just going to change this to employee dashboard. I'm going to detach and just attach, make sure it can. And then command line parameters maybe doesn't apply here. Application location doesn't apply. Yeah, apply changes. And so now we just want it to click add employee using browser mode. We'll need to attach first. And then let's connect this to use our cool new feature for no reason. Navigate stage. Hold Alt to drag that in there. And then remember we can click highlight from inside here. Of course it's in the background, so I can't see it, but okay, right, we can't see, we can barely see it around that little button. Here, click add employee. What are these errors? Fail to find reference to application row 1. This might be because actually I have no idea why. Fail to find reference to application element in row 1. Oh, right, because I copied it from the other one. That makes sense. Invalid expression, process name, right, because in the other one, I put the process name over here on that page. Okay. Row 1 has no application element set, right? That makes sense. You'd think after all this time I would know that. Okay, so that's it. And I just need to publish this action, change this to be information foreground. I don't have any code, but I'll put it to C#. Okay, and then I don't know. I don't need any notes. Okay. Now I go back to the process and we'll just call one then the other. Did I not save? I think I just didn't save. I'm silly. Launch. log in, close, click add employee, and then it'll close. So it's going to do all this maybe somewhat quickly. I don't know if it might be too fast or not. Publish. Right. What? Because I need to unpublish some actions. Okay. I had to unpublish some processes. I think I said actions at one point, but I had to unpublish some processes before I can publish this one, because this Learning Edition license has limitations. So now I think we can just go to control room and test this. No? Wait, it didn't save it. I feel like I clicked publish. Okay, there it is. So it should open it in the same spot on the screen here. Did I do something dumb? Oh, no. Okay, watch carefully. Okay, Alt. I feel like it snapped in before. Maybe it didn't. I don't know. I can go back and watch the video, though. I'll find out whether or not I did that right. I can see that with that whole Alt dragging thing, a lot of us are going to find ourselves having not connected stages into the flow because we thought it connected automatically. Okay, let's try this again. That does explain why it never launched anything. It'll definitely launch something this time. Whether it'll succeed or not, I don't know. Okay, there we go. It logs in, it clicks add employee. Okay, well, it clicked add employee probably, but we couldn't validate that. So let's go make one more change to it. This action should, let's do like, let's just have it wait. Wait for an arbitrary amount of time, 5 seconds. I think we really like arbitrary waits. You know, they're super good. It's not bad practice at all. We want as many arbitrary waits as we possibly can get in a process. Okay, so it definitely navigated, and then we wait 5 seconds, and then it'll close. Okay, so I think we're good. A couple of times earlier in this video, I would duplicate a data item, and then I would rename it something else, and then I would have to uncheck this box so that it doesn't update references to it, so that I can just create a new one, and any references to the old data item were not changed to point to the new. And that's actually a feature that I realized I didn't properly test. So let's go ahead and test that now. What I want to do is show you, I guess, first how it definitely works, and then I'm just going to test some different things to see where the limitations are. So where it does work already, let's look at the references actually to like this item ID, data item, find references, and then each of these, as I double click on it, it'll show you a different place, like a different page in some cases, where that is referenced. Sometimes it's going to be behind this window, but most of these are showing where it's highlighted yellow. That's where it's referenced. So in any of these, I could open them up and show you that the data item is referenced here. So let's say that I wanted to rename that. And one of the ways that I often rename these is to put a G at the beginning of it, because that tells me that it's a global data item. Right here, you can see this box is unchecked down here, so it can be referenced by other pages. And so I'm just going to click OK here with this update all references set to true and checked. Click OK, and it has obviously renamed the data item itself, but then also any place that was referencing it, like this mark completed, it now has the spelling of G hyphen that I added to the beginning of the data item, and all of them get renamed like that across all pages. I tested this a few times and it seems to work flawlessly. There are some limitations that I found though. For example, if you have a reference to a collection, so like let's say item data had a field called field 1, and then on any other page, it doesn't matter where, I guess, say I have a calculation stage here, and then I just do like item data dot field 1, and I don't know, just store it somewhere. Okay, I can rename the collection itself, so I could put like G in front of it. We've got this checked up here by default. Okay, and then inside the calculation stage, it now says G item data, but I can't rename the field, which I think is fine. That might be more complicated to do, but it would be nice if we could do this. But if I wanted to change this to like field 2, and then I go in here, and you can see it still says field 1. I think that that is fine, but it would be nice if it could support that. But I just wanted to point out that is one limitation. But frankly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. This helps us a whole lot. And I think that a lot of developers are really going to love this. I feel bad this is probably going to be at the end of the video because I didn't think about it until the end, and I've already set up all my timestamps for the chapters, and I don't want to go redo all those. So I'm still just going to keep it at the end so I don't have to change a bunch of my notes. I don't suppose there's any other way that this could be limited. I've already tested this at the object level, and it works exactly the same. And if there's any way that doesn't work, I'm not aware of it. So this is a fantastic feature, and I will be heavily using this because it's super common for me to refactor my processes such that, you know, data item names get changed drastically, or even just a little bit, but in some way. So instead of having to rename something in a ton of different places, oh my goodness, this is going to be so much better. This is going to make me not have to worry about the names I give to data items when I'm first developing, because up until this point, I had been really careful about that because I'm like, okay, I want to get this name right because it's going to be obnoxious to change it later. Oh, you know what I didn't test? Environment variables would work the same though, I feel like. How would that work actually? I want to test that. So let's say that I have an environment variable. Doesn't really matter what we choose. Let me just go with the first one. 8-ball API base URL. And let's have it be referenced here. 8-ball API base URL. And if I do find references on this, it should say it's being used here. Okay. And then if I go rename that, let's just rename it like test. And obviously it's going to be fine until I hit refresh, but if I hit refresh, okay, now the environment variable doesn't exist. So I guess what I do is change it to none. Okay, and then if I type test at the end here, and then I select environment variable, so it sort of reconnects it back. But now, did this get renamed? It did. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, it's a little weird to have to change it from being an environment variable to being like exposure set to none, change the name to match. But I mean, that was the same as before. So even that weird scenario, it doesn't like confuse Blue Prism. It's still able to update the references within the process properly. So that looks good. I can't really think of anything else to test for this, so I'm going to call that one good. And I don't know if I'm going to come up with anything else to test, so maybe this will finally be near the end of the video. We'll see. I would say 7.4.1 is a solid version. It definitely had some weird problems, like small, but they were all small things. Like every single one of them were very easy workarounds, and in a lot of cases, it was just use the normal application modeler. How long have I been recording for? 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 3 seconds. That's kind of a long time. But boy, editing this is going to be awful. Well, thanks for watching with me. If for some crazy reason you reached this point in the video, you now win a prize. In your mailbox is a pink pony. The mailbox person told me that it was really hard to fit it into the mailbox, so you might want to go get it. It could be making your mailbox break right now, or you could be missing other mail because, you know, the mail person can't fit it into the mailbox now because the pony is in the way. So did I say it was a pony? I think I said it was a pony. Like a stuffed pony, not like a real one. That would be cruel. I meant like, you know, like not like a real stuffed one, but like a, you know, like the fuzzy make-believe ones that they make, definitely not out of materials that came from living things. It's all fabricated material. I think we've gotten off track. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you're going to upgrade Blue Prism to 7.4.1, or if you have any questions. I think I might make another video at some point once I finish the upgrade to let you know how it went and to bring up all the points that I came across. And that's all I have, I guess. So I'll see you next time, or whatever.